Au revoir.
All right, we are rolling. Welcome to another episode of FitPet Boston Talks. My name is Leah Lori. I'm the host of the show, and today I'm joined by my partner, Lori Lori.
Hello.
And we're just going to talk about a couple of different topics.
I didn't know you were going to point to me.
If you are new to the podcast, thank you so much for tuning in. This podcast is a place for local Boston area dog handlers to...
It's a safe place.
It's a safe space, a safe place for local Boston area dog handlers to talk about their lives, their dogs, and their careers. And I've had a really great time over the past 3 years or so getting to know some of our local dog training and handling community. Oh, Ruben is on a squeaky avocado
playing with the
here
stuffed
on the floor.
avocado.
But when we are not interviewing somebody local, Laurie and I oftentimes just sit down. This is going well so far. Sit down and talk to each other about an array of different topics or current events. Thank you for the really positive and awesome feedback from the last couple of episodes that we have done.
Oh, you don't tell me about those things.
I know.
Thanks
sorry.
a lot.
Yeah, I sent you a bunch of messages.
No, you didn't. No. Really.
All right.
It's just talking into the air. I don't know how people are taking this. My God.
Anyway, thank you to those of you who listen, and we very much appreciate it. Laurie says burning hot in the office, but
so hot.
I'm super comfortable.
Of course she is. She's a hoodie on.
It poured all day long.
I don't even know what you're made out of.
And
that you're not even.
I finally was able to open the windows.
It's hot as hell.
It is not hot as hell.
I'm going to be there for the rest of eternity. I don't want to be hot now.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it. I actually
get back in your cell.
I have the windows open today, which I normally don't because of the noise, but it rained all day today.
It's
and
nice. It's like a nice camping sound. This is as close to camping as I'm going to get. Can you hear them?
It's traffic.
Can you hear them?
It's not camping sound.
No.
That's the sound of traffic.
There's a cricket out there.
There are some bugs, but the drone, that's traffic noise,
that's
honey.
Noise to fall asleep to.
Oh, my God. Mm-hmm. I have had a newfound appreciation for the great outdoors. I don't think I've mentioned this on the podcast, but in August, I went up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan to visit a very dear high school friend of mine. And I'm not actually allowed to tell anybody how awesome it is up there because she says she doesn't want anybody to move there.
No.
So I went in August, the great month of August, mid-August, which was a good time to go.
The great month of August.
My friends and I used to have a joke, and that's what we used to call it.
Okay. See, I don't even know these. This is from her other life.
I went up there mid-August. It was awesome. The weather was pretty much as perfect as it could possibly get. High 70s, low 80s every day. It probably is one of the most beautiful places. Ugh, man, in the States, it's just like the Great Lakes are so pretty. They're just huge, and they almost look like an ocean, and there's no people around up there. It was crazy. We went to a beach, a full-on beach where you could walk for like miles on, and there was not a soul there.
Sounds...
Yeah, Laurie is less than...
like a nightmare.
Less than interested in that type of...
No, but the only reason a place that you go to on vacation seems like amazing is because you're not working. Then if you live there, you'd be like, wow.
Oh, I certainly don't want to live there.
I mean, whose dog would you train?
Yeah.
There's nobody there.
Yeah, I certainly would not want to live there. I think if my friend wasn't there, there would be absolutely no reason to go. Like the towns where we were close to it wasn't like a tourist type of destination, and I wouldn't know where to go or what to do. But lots of hunting up there on the plane ride from Chicago to the UP. There's a lot of camouflage, a lot of friendly banter. Really, really friendly people up there.
There are so few of them. How do you know if they're friendly or not?
I guess if you had the reputation of being a jerk, it would just spread like wildfire and nobody would like you, and then you'd be screwed. But it was a great time. I got to record some music with my friend, who super talented musician, so that was nice as well. And it kind of like sparked this like appreciation, I think, for open space and being outside. And I'm already outside every single day, but
Inner Elmer Fudd.
yeah, maybe it brought out my inner Elmer Fudd, as Lori likes to say. I've also become kind of obsessed with retrievers and
I thought you were going to say something else.
And those type of sports that cater to that breed and their instinct to retrieve. And along with that comes a lot of hunting and hunting culture and such. So I am not a hunter by any stretch of the. I don't think I've ever killed anything like substantial besides like a mouse in a mouse trap or something like that. But
I don't think that counts.
That doesn't count as hunting.
I don't think so. Oh my God. So I don't think I've killed anything, besides a mouse.
So it's really interesting I've been listening to podcasts and reading and such. And so it's really interesting to consume all this information about how to train your dog. All of that training is kind of contingent on, waterfowl hunting, which is something I have absolutely no experience and never even thought about before in my entire life. So I've been, listening to these people talk basically a different language. I mean, you really listen. I mean, I had a come to Jesus moment the other night in bed. I was reading
24/7. It's been nothing but duck hunting. Leah wants to be a duck hunter, and she wants to throw dead birds across a field, and she wants her dog to get them.
Well, it's intriguing. It's incredible what they can do.
I mean, it looks fascinating.
It's just incredible.
I can picture you doing it. I got to tell you.
I mean, it
is. You're going to be off. There you go. Leah the duck hunter. I really feel like you're going to end up doing it.
Really?
Yep.
I don't know if I could kill something like that, though. We'll see.
I think that you'll do it.
It's very interesting to me. I think the interesting piece is definitely the dog part for me, which is going to be, there are plenty of dogs, too, that do things like field trial and they never actually go hunting. And it's not a huge thing up here for retriever training. And if you look kind of in like the West and the Midwest, people are really into waterfowl hunting and retriever training for that type of thing. Because oftentimes when you're waterfowl hunting, what I've learned, you're shooting over the water, and if you are not in a boat, how are you going to get the bird when it falls down? So it's very helpful to have a dog with you. But getting the dog from the point where, they can retrieve a tennis ball to the point where they can go retrieve a dead bird in the water while swimming and know where it is and bring it right back to you.
We have to figure that part out.
Yeah, I got to figure that part out. So.
Yeah, imagine talking to a dog. Okay, here's the plan.
Yeah, but it's so funny because this week I started working with Scout a little bit, like just doing really fun stuff. And he is a very dopey English lab, and I have him a couple days a week. So I brought a couple bumpers with me to the field, and I was throwing the bumpers for him, and he was really enjoying himself. So I wanted to finish my walk without carrying the bumper with me. And so I hid it in a spot where I was working with him previously. Because we were just messing around. So like I put him in a sit stay and I hid the bumper, but he could see where I was hiding it. And then I sent him to go get it, and he got it. So I hid it in the same spot that I had been hiding it. So we walked for about 15 minutes and then came back to that spot, and I put him in a sit stay. Same scenario that we were working in before. And then I sent him to go get it, and he went like lightning to go get it. I sent you the video too.
Mm-hmm. Mother Nature just working itself out.
But it was so interesting to me because I feel like I haven't given Scout
I think that you
a ton of credit
will be doing this
over the years that we've had poor Scout. He's just a fun-loving lab, and I think for me, the reason why I am interested is because I love the breed, and hopefully there'll be another lab coming into our life at some point. We don't know when, but yeah, I have a ton of labs that are on my dog walking schedule. I would say the majority of my dogs are labs or labradoodles. So I feel like I've had a bunch of exposure to that breed, and just learning about them and what they're capable of is really cool for me. Anywho, that was a long rant about how...
That's fine. I groomed 2 doodles today.
Yeah, you did. Coco and Stella, just the sweetest dogs.
Sweetest. So many mats behind their ears. The little fur that they do have on their face and their mustache.
Yeah, that's
their ears,
very interesting
and their tail.
Coat they have. Two doodles from the same breeder. And basically,
Coco has perfect fur because when I cut it, her feet look like little tennis balls.
Little fluffs.
Yeah, they're like cat paws. They're perfect.
But can you imagine
her sister has this terrible hair. It's stringy and flat, and it doesn't form right.
But you take their coat down so low. Can you imagine if their groomer didn't do that? If they had a groomer that let their hair be a little bit longer, like Maisie's hair?
It's impossible because the parents don't like to brush them. I love them, but they do not brush ever. And so if you don't want to brush your dog, if you don't want to brush your doodle, just keep it short.
Yeah.
I mean, even the ears today, I feel so bad because I'm combing them out. I just feel bad for the dog. I'm like apologizing the whole time I'm doing it.
I feel terrible when I'm grooming a dog, actually, for the dog.
Well, not if it's just a regular old tubbing.
Yeah, if it's like...
Some dogs fall asleep on me when I have them in the tub.
Lab in
like
the tub,
Ray.
Like, they don't care.
Ray, he falls asleep.
Yeah.
I have to lift up his arms, scrub the little armpits. He's fine. But other dogs, man, I hate it. I just feel bad.
I just feel bad.
Then you have some dogs that just
so
they just want to kick your equipment off the table so that you have to buy a new one. They're like, is this expensive? I'll kick that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to die today?
Yeah, nobody knows the pain.
Grab your face.
Dropping scissors on the ground.
Oh. Clink.
Groomers and hairdressers.
It's like when you hit a pothole.
It's worse because those scissors are so expensive.
I know. I have a nice guy, though, that sharpens them all for me.
Yeah. Who do you have? Who sharpens them? Give him a shout out.
I can't.
Oh, sorry.
I don't remember his name.
Oh, yeah. He comes to the house, grabs them, sharpens them up.
I go there. It's only 5 minutes away.
Oh, the guy with the sign out front.
It's in the woo.
Yeah. Okay. We'll look up his name, and
then I'll
say it on the
send
podcast.
business his way
because
he does go to people's places,
and I'm a big fan too of using them. I shouldn't say using because I paid for it, but of bringing my knives to dog shows and having the groomer sharpen my knives if they're not busy, because there's nothing worse than a dull kitchen knife, let me tell you.
I can't. So every time I go to a show, Leah says, oh, is the sharpener guy going to be there? And I'm like, I'm not carrying a bunch of butcher knives to the dog show, Leah. I'm not. Okay.
I'm pretty sure he knows me. I finally bought a sharpener from Amazon, and I did one round, and they were sharper than when I started. They still weren't like really sharp, but I think it's one of those situations where the more I do it, the better I'm going to get at it. So we may be out of the woods with having to
out of the woods. Thank God. But you like to stay in the woods, so.
I know, but I like sharp knives. I hate dull knives.
Oh, and
they're so dangerous.
And our sharpener guy has his business card on a Band-Aid holder. I like it. Yeah.
Those are the type of businesses that I love because you know that they're good. This dude supports himself somehow, partially based on a business that runs out of a Band-Aid box. Pretty cool.
Imagine if you were the one who sharpened the knife of a killer. Right? Anyway.
I'm not sure that would be the straw that broke the camel's back for the killer, I think.
I think this is us just shooting the shizzle.
I think it
tonight.
is too. I did want to talk specifically about content creation. I know that Laurie doesn't have too much to say about the topic, but it came across my mind today because I was thinking about free video content for dog training online and why we don't do it. And why I think that it can be a really cool, helpful tool for some people that may be in need of some specific type of assistance. But I think when I look around to some of the other local trainers that are in similar situations to us, whether they are walkers or have smaller boutique businesses or they have large facilities, none of us are really putting out a ton of free training content. And I started to scratch my head and think about why. And I also would love to get Laurie's thoughts about this too. But just, I thought about creating content in general, right? Because that's kind of like what we're doing right now, right? We're sitting down, talking to each other, recording it. Hopefully somebody out there will find what we are saying useful or meaningful, whether you are a dog handler or a client or somebody that just like loves dogs and wants to learn more about the industry and what people are doing on the daily basis. But we're really not giving a ton of like training specific advice on the podcast. And a lot of the dog training podcasts that I listen to, you know, sometimes they don't talk about dog training very much at all. It tends to be more personal, interview focused type of content. And I was just kind of trying to think about, why we make that choice, because it is a choice, because we have, video cameras in our pockets all day long. And there are opportunities for us to showcase what we do. And I personally don't. I like to take great pictures of the dogs. I like to send them to their owners. I like to put them on my Instagram story and put them on my Instagram and such. But, we don't get too specific into the nuts and bolts of how we train and why we do the things that we do and then publish them online. Lori and I have a private Facebook group for our clients, and we have a few videos up on there, just like basic things. The one that I share the most, maybe you can agree or disagree, is the clicker. Yeah. The clicker video. Just, that's something that people forget kind of when they walk out the door.
The first class is overwhelming.
Yeah, the first class is overwhelming. And,
the most I give out is like from random hits on Facebook is I'll give out a house training sheet to somebody because why not? Right. I don't care if I ever see them. They're having a problem with bathroom training. I'll just send them the sheet and say, here you go. It's a little bit more detail than what you could find in a Google search. Right. So all in one spot. And then I'm like, here, take this. If somebody were to ever say, oh, I want a class just on bathroom training, I'm like, just take this sheet and do it. If it doesn't work, call me. Right. But that just seems like, because those people are usually, they just care that their bathroom goes outside. It might be an older owner with a dog. Yeah. Sorry.
A puppy.
I interrupted.
No, please. So what's your take on creating content, specifically video content for dog training? Why don't you do it?
I don't like to open myself up to criticism or somebody to take the video the wrong way or somebody to pull a snippet out. That would probably make me... I wouldn't want anything to be taken out of context and then shared in a million, billion, trillion places. Right. I think you really just open yourself up to so much hate these days. Right. If you make everything so public. Right. It's not even because we're doing anything out of the... Or like I shared a very innocent crate tips on Facebook the other day, and people always have something to say. Right. So. Yeah, it's really hard. I was thinking about it as I was doing my job today, and I was thinking about it specifically because I think you had shared that crate tips sheet on Instagram and Facebook maybe, and somebody on Instagram said something about how they don't use the crate because no, it was Facebook.
Like overuse the crate or something like that.
I don't know. It was well received for the most part, and everyone thought the advice was great, and they used it, or they were some of our customers, and they commented on how well it worked for them. And there was one crazy comment that I just ignored. It had nothing to. Yeah, it was really like the person sounded a little disturbed, and so whatever, I'll give you you can have your opinion, but it wasn't from a stable place. Right. Yeah. He was acting a little crazy. But then somebody did on Instagram, it was very nice, like a very decent comment. They said crates don't help with there have been no studies done that say crates help with separation anxiety. And I was, I gave a little heart. I gave it a like. Because I am not somebody who does research. I'm not somebody, I already said that in a million podcasts before. Everything I say is from experience. I don't look at studies of dogs from the past years. I can't name off the years the studies were done. But it's just my experience that usually when I train a dog, I'm not dealing with a dog who wants to be under your armpit all the time.
Right.
So I guess I should have maybe worded it a different way.
Yeah.
But I totally got the guy's comment. I'm like, absolutely. I have not looked at any studies. You're probably right. There are probably no studies on how a crate has helped with separation anxiety. And if your dog is freaking out, they're freaking out. But in my experience, if you let a dog sleep in your bed from the moment they come home to 4 months later or 5 months later, you are dealing with a dog who has a lot of issues. Which the guy kind of was like, yeah, I see it. But there were no studies done, which is why, and it didn't bother me, the comment, but I'm like, this is why I would never put anything online. God bless the people that do, because... Right. And I recognize that if somebody is super critical of another trainer and what they're doing, I mean, it has to be blatant abuse for me not to give the person to really just look at this video and see what the trainer was trying to do. But how many times have you tried? I remember this video came out a while ago of a German Shepherd that was in a movie or something. The dog was hyper stressed. They were trying to get it to do this stunt with water. Do you remember this at all?
No.
Anyway, it was a snippet. Like, I wonder, well, how long did the trainer put the dog in that position? Were they like, oh shit, and then pulled the dog back? Oh my God, this isn't working. Like, how many times have you worked with a dog and you're like, this isn't working, plan B, got to do it? Or how stressed did that trainer feel that she thought she needed to get the dog to do that, and then she put aside her thought for the dog for 2 seconds? Or he put his, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know the whole situation.
Yeah, you don't know the context.
Yeah, and everything is so one-sided. Like, you get a snippet of something and you can get really heavily judged. I'm not into that.
Right.
I'm hard enough on myself. I don't need strangers friggin' bearing down on me.
Right.
I just want to mind my business.
So I think that the you know, I think a local dog trainer recently had put up, I am not a content creator and this is why, and then just like posted a picture of like a dog's butt or something like that, you know, just like they pulled out their phone and took a picture of what they were doing at the time. I don't know if they were walking or whatever. And I think that that's an important thing to realize about whether or not you are able to be focused on what you're doing on the daily and whether or not you're focused on things that you shouldn't be focused on. And I think that for me, if I'm focusing on taking pictures, taking video, this and that, like the dogs are going to suffer because I'm only one person. This is all I do. It's just me. So there's that side of it. So I always keep in mind, like anytime, because sometimes I do get in these modes where I'm like, oh, I really should be posting on Instagram more, blah, blah, blah.
Me too.
You know,
I feel guilty when I don't.
Yeah, you feel guilty. I don't know if I feel guilty for the parents or if I feel guilty because it makes it seem like I'm not busy or not doing anything.
Well, no, we feel like that's social media is part of the job now. Right,
yeah.
Before we used to do it for fun, but now it seems like it's a necessity.
Right.
Or it's like, it really does. It's a chore, really. I love sharing pictures, but I love sharing pictures. I want parents to enjoy it. But if a few days go by, I'm like, hey, you got to put something up there. You have to, in order to stay relevant or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's a hard hat to wear when you are working with dogs because your focus should be on the dog. And no matter what way you slice it, once you start getting into, you know, taking videos, trying to make reels now, I'm like, okay, how can I condense this down into 30 seconds? And I'm like, why do I even have to do that?
Are we going to hashtag this?
You know, I think that the main point that I'm trying to make here is focus on the dog. For me, it's never failed. For Lori, it's never failed. I think that social media can be great for marketing and, you know, trying to attract new clients. You know, if you're in the position where you need new clients, it can be a useful tool.
I believe that.
But, you know, at the end of the day, I think for me, I just want to focus on the dogs and focus on making sure that they are trained and tired at the end of our session together. So it's really important to me.
Sometimes I'm bummed that I don't take before and afters.
Like walking before and then walking after.
Oh my God, yeah, like the difference in one class. I'm bummed about that. But not that not that people who do it aren't busy enough or anything like that. It's just, there's a million times I'm like, oh, why couldn't I just videotape this? It would have been so great for people to see. They would have been inspired to keep training because they saw the results of this parent. And then I just don't take the time to record it all.
Yeah, and if you're teaching a class, I think that it's kind of rude to just be like filming while you're trying to instruct, and then all of a sudden your client, the owner, and the owner changes as soon as the phone comes out. You know what I mean? It's like, especially if it's like a first class, you know, I always ask, and it's usually a stationary position. Like if the dog's just sitting, you know, I very rarely will, I never on a first class will, you know, put the owner in that position. But
let me whip out my camera.
Yeah, it's really challenging.
This will make you more comfortable.
It's challenging to think about weird. Like where the focus is like, the focus in that class, like they're paying for that class. Like they're not paying for, you know, 1,000 other people to see their class. Like they're paying for the one-on-one, you know, and it's like, I want to be able to focus on them, focus on their dog, make sure that they're handling correctly. And once I kind of develop a relationship with them, maybe I'll feel more comfortable, you know, filming a little bit. Or if there were two of us, I think that's really where
I think where it breaks down. We're always one-on-one.
We're always one-on-one, right? So that's a little bit difficult.
You should always ask permission. We back in the day, we didn't have to do this, but now on our enrollment form, we ask permission to post the dog and post the person.
Mm-hmm. And like 50%
and do we have permission to tag you? And I got to tell you, like parents say no.
Most people don't. Yeah, most people don't want to be.
Nope.
Which is like great. Then I don't even have to worry about it.
Well, it's fine with us, but dog trainers and businesses now, you have to have them sign that waiver or you're going to be surprised.
Yeah. Agree. So the one thought that crossed my mind as I was considering this topic is the value of a program that has been produced and sold online versus the value of free content. And I personally think that if you're interested in a specific training style or a specific trainer, and they do offer online training content at a cost, I would say buy it, because the majority of those programs are not expensive. And to me, it is going to be hopefully going to be a streamlined curriculum. So when you go on YouTube and you search, how do I get my dog to stop pulling on the leash? And that laundry list of results come up. You know, maybe you watch video number 1 in a 4-part series, but you don't watch parts 2, 3, and 4 because you don't even know the person that is training the dog from the first video that you see, or, you know, whatever. And it's just like this huge pool of information. And if you don't know what you're looking at, it's very difficult to parse out what's going to be useful to you and what's going to be useful to you and your dog. The other thing for people who are interested in creating content, I think that when you charge even a nominal amount of money for that content, you are going to attract people that are interested in the content. So when you just post something publicly online and that gets shared and whatnot, of course people are going to run across that content that, you know, they weren't part of your audience. You have no connection with them whatsoever. There's like, you know, 12 degrees of separation between you and that person. If that person finds one thing that you're doing to be, you know, not right or questionable or whatever, now they're leaving you comments on your page. And if you read the comments and if you respond to the comments, all of a sudden it turns into this, you know, kind of like 10 or 15 minute, thing that never needed to be there in the first place because, you know, who is this person? Like with Laurie's example, with when she posted with the crate training, it's like she's getting random people that are commenting that have no connection, or then there's no value that's being transacted in between the person that's consuming the content and the person that is creating it. So I don't know, just think about that if you are considering making video content. Like, if I made video content, when I do post it in our group because those people are interested in what we have to say about training dogs because they have paid us to help them along the way. Whether it was a few years ago or whether they're currently active clients, they have a vested interest in the way that we go about doing what we do. Therefore, we don't get a lot of pushback or spam or anything when we, post a training video inside our group, and it's really nice.
It's not that I wouldn't consider it.
Consider what?
If it was, if people ask questions or don't agree, then I'll talk to them about it.
Right.
I mean, literally, this person was somehow brought in religion and politics to the crate training.
Because there's just crazy stuff going on.
I stay away from that on my dog page.
Yeah, but if he was a paying customer, or she, I can't remember. But if they were a paying customer, like, that never would have happened. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
That's what you're trying to say.
It's like, don't belabor your...
Like religion and politics in a crate training? What the French
But there's
toast.
no value. There's no... there's no relationship. There's no, like... it didn't cost him anything to do that. You know what I mean? If he had paid $10,
he wanted to hear
to
himself
read
talk.
to read that post, he would probably be saying how wonderful it was, right?
Yeah,
it's just like it's very difficult, I think, for anybody that is in the service industry, trying to also create content to figure out like. And then there'll be dog trainers on like, I looked on their social media page and they don't post any training videos. It's just pretty pictures of dogs. It's like, yeah, dude, I'm not just posting training videos online for everybody to see. Like, no, I don't get paid.
I bet I get judged for that. I'm like, but I just put up really nice group photos.
I don't get paid money to, for on my YouTube. Like, do you know how many views you have to get on YouTube to make like
I'm
money?
Trying to find something, damn it. Okay.
Off of it? It's like, it's practically impossible. So people that say that, like, there'll be like these YouTube dog trainers basically that go online and be like, wow, we'll prove it. Post video. Let me see your training videos. Like, heck no. Like I have absolutely no interest in, posting training videos so that other YouTube trainers can comment and critique on that. I really enjoy living in the real world and, getting to meet people and handle their dogs. Then there are the really
angry dog trainers. Just angry about everything. Who cares? What are you so angry about? We're just trying to figure it all out.
It's the truth.
Man, I wish I could find this one thing. One time Melissa caught a perfect shot of
Hershey?
Remember that?
That was when I first met you. That was
perfect,
like 2014
perfect
or 2015.
shot of Hershey, and he looked like he was
dancing.
It was his body was curved in a way. It was the perfect shot. And we were just teaching him to dance or whatever. And it got shared by BarkBox. God, Melissa would know about... I hate talking on this podcast and I don't remember all the details.
Just make it up. It's fine.
I can't make it up. Why? But anyway, it was a great shot of Hershey. And maybe we'll post it on Instagram if I can ever find it again.
It was a little video. It was a short video.
Yeah, what was he dancing to?
It was just a Spanish song. It was a Spanish song.
As Havanese do.
I guess they do.
Yeah. So a woman had commented and said that this isn't funny. These dogs are abused to make them do these things.
Oh, yeah.
I was blown away. Holy crap. Now, of course, that's not the truth, but somebody else reading this,
right?
They might think that. They might think, oh my God. This very innocent video is now turned into a torture chamber for this little dog. We just caught a shot of his body weaving, and it was funny.
It looked like he was clapping his hands, kind of.
It was
like literally a 4-second video. Because, like you said, it was
commented on the woman's comment. I said, I assure you that all of our tricks are done with clicker training. And this dog was not forced into any situation. And he's reinforced with food. And I thank you for your concern. I was very nice about it. Yeah, and Gallo, she's like, you are a lot nicer than I would be.
I know.
I was just like, I just didn't want anyone. So that's the thing. I would feel like I'd have to explain myself. And I can barely understand myself anyway. Now I have to explain myself to others.
Right.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I was blown away by that too. It was
like,
just,
oh my God.
But you're right. It's so weird.
Talk about a downer.
And then one person that reads that doesn't know, anything about dogs or whatnot. It's like, that was kind of before the dog craze kind of hit, I think, social media. So it was a little bit more of a novelty too. But I do feel like, you are opening yourself up in a very strange way, because we do this for work and such. And like an example like that is just like perfect. It's just such an innocent, it was trick training basically.
Yeah, it was all trick training. Hershey he loved to do stupid shit. A lot of the times we just take a clicker out if a dog does something, and then we just make sure we keep clicking it.
Yeah.
What you click is what you get. Then we name it later on. Some tricks are really easy. Some are a lot harder for dogs.
Yeah, but if you want to weigh in on this topic, please let us know. I think that most of us that train dogs are definitely stuck in a very weird spot when it comes to creating content for social media. I feel like I've reached a pretty good balance of, being able to keep up with quotation marks on what I think I need to keep up on without making it a major focus. And we're pretty busy with clients, so I can't say that it is ruining our bottom line to, not be super duper active on social media. Super duper. But if you have any comments or thoughts about the topic, please let me know. I'd be happy to discuss and just kind of take a different point of view. I know that some of you, even someone that may be listening, are wicked active on social media and manage to do that very successfully.
Tell us your secrets.
Tell us your secrets. But yeah, so we just want to talk a little bit about that today. Thank you, Lori, for sitting with me tonight, having tea with me as we wind down
hot chocolate.
Another very busy, very rainy day. I got soaked today.
Today was a crappy day.
It was.
Weather-wise, we're not used to it. We're super spoiled.
Yeah, because it's
sunny every
day. Today it basically hurricaned all day. So
we grew grass in one day.
We did.
Yep.
Sprouted
Spikes.
It was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for listening to FitPet Boston Talks, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.